Here are 3 ways content compounds over time the more videos we post. In this video, I'll break down each of these 3 ways: increase exposure, more material, and increase credibility. Then we'll use some numbers to show how it actually compounds over time. I use ChatGPT to calculate this for me. Before lastly, sharing the key takeaway from this entire video and how a lot of people tend to give up right before their channel takes off. So let's get started with number 1, exposure. So I like to think of each video being a magnet to attract people to my channel. So if I have one video on the channel, I have one magnet that attracts people to the channel. Now if I have 4 videos, look how many more people I get to attract to my channel because I have 4 videos working for me. I have 4 magnets helping attract people to the channel. Now, if I have 4 videos, and you can see how much more people that attracts than just one video, imagine how many more people I could attract if I had 100 videos or 1,000 videos. So I'd have 1,000 videos working for me, which is significantly more than 4, which is significantly more than 1. All right, so I get more exposure to people by having more videos on my channel working for me. Now, not only does each of these videos act as a magnet to attract people, but the people that these videos attract allows people to consume more content if I have more material on my channel. For example, if I have only 3 videos on my channel, say I attract someone using this video, they can only binge watch 2 other videos if I have only a total of 3 on the channel. Now, if I have 6 videos on the channel and I attract someone with this video, they can binge watch 5 other videos. So, by having more material on the channel, people can have more material to binge watch. So that is the second way content compounds. Now, the third way content compounds is increased credibility. So, as a result of more exposure and more material to consume, I'd get more views, and views attract views. So, which video would you click on to find out how to edit your first YouTube video on Final Cut Pro? Probably this one, because it has more views while everything else is the same. It's likely that people know that 519,000 people have watched this one, whereas only 217 watched this one. This one will more likely help me attain my desired result, so I'll click on this. So this accentuates the compounding growth of this method and this method in terms of gaining more views. So content compounds over time using through these 3 ways. All right, let's move down and plug some actual numbers in. I use ChatGPT to calculate this for me. So let's say each video attracts 1,000 viewers, and let's say 20% of those 1,000 viewers, which is 200 viewers, will watch 20% of the total videos on the channel. So let's say this video attracts 1,000 new people, and 20% of that, so 200 people, will binge watch 20% of the total amount of videos on the channel. Now, how many views would that result in if I've only had 10 videos on the channel, or 100 videos on the channel, or 1,000 videos on the channel? So, based on ChatGPT's calculations, which I think are true, 10 videos would result in 14,000 views, 100, 500,000, 1,000 videos, 41 million views. Notice this 10x's each time in terms of videos. However, the amount of views is much more than 10x. If we plot this on a graph, this is how it looks. So as you can see, it compounds over time. Now, the key takeaway from this entire video. All right, firstly, before we get onto key takeaways, some limitations to this model. I know some of you guys are super smart, so it's very hard for someone to binge watch 20% of 1,000 videos. It'd probably be easier to get 20% of 10 videos, which is consuming 1 other videos in terms of binge watching. And also the assumption is that each video will attract 1,000 new viewers, which is a lot easier to do when you have 1,000 videos on your channel as opposed to only 10. And also, this model doesn't account for the credibility aspect of this model. And there are a lot of other things this model didn't account for, but I just wanted to show you that it compounds over time. All right, forget that. Let's go on to the key takeaway. The key takeaway is that if you're posting consistently and you're making valuable content, and you know it's the right thing to do, and you know the content would be valuable to someone out there, just keep going, because the results compound over time. And although you might not see results now, you will reach a critical threshold where results suddenly come to you, and if you don't get there and you give up halfway, you could do a lot of work and get no result at all. So this is an idea from Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he described the plateau of latent potential. Now, this is a amazing idea. So ultimately what this is showing is that generally what we expect to happen is linear growth, linear results, linear effort, because that is what happens in employment world, right? Employment world, what happens? We do a job, we do that job well, and then we get promoted, we get a few grand more, we get more responsibilities, we get the fancy title. If we do that well, we get a few grand more responsibilities, a nicer title, and it goes up in a very linear fashion. And our results and our efforts will probably follow suit. However, in entrepreneurship land, what happens is that although we're chugging along and putting in the hustle, for a long period of time, we'd see no result. So it's a flat line for a very long period of time until, boom, there's a certain threshold here where it goes, boom, upwards, it compounds. So when we are here, there's a gap between what we think should happen and what actually happens. So the gap between here and here, so this is our result, and this is what we think our results should be. When there's this gap, we get really frustrated because the amount of results we're seeing is pretty much the same as when we put in no effort at all. So why are we putting effort if we're seeing no result? So when there's the gap, we get frustrated, and James Clear calls this the valley of disappointment. When the gap is highest between what we think should happen and our actual result, that's when people give up. And often this is the time where if we just put in a bit more effort, all the results we ever wanted would come to us. And if we give up here, we never see this part of the graph where it just goes, it goes up. So if you're making content, just keep going. You might be on the verge of breaking through this valley of disappointment and getting exactly what you wanted. So in summary, content compounds in 3 ways: through increased exposure, more material of the new people being introduced to your channel to consume, and increased credibility. Now, if you want to learn about this idea more in depth, I made a cinematic about this idea. You can check that out. But my name is Junius. I help people make and strategize educational content. If you want more content like this, check out my playlist here. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.